At the start of the Trojan War, in order to prevent huge blood loss, both Menelaus and Paris decided to have a single combat. The winner will take Helen home. In order for Paris to win, the king of Troy, Priam, gave his son the ancient sword of Troy, which as long as in the hands of a Trojan would never fail. However, Paris was not a good warrior, and in about a couple of minutes, he lost to Menelaus. Legend has it that Aphrodite came in and whisked Paris away to safety, thus starting the Trojan War. What we can learn from this is that even if armed with super powerful weapons, you have to actually be good with some chance of winning in order to go ahead and win. When you look towards midterm elections in 2010, the Republicans think they have Priam's ancient sword. When you look towards the Associated Press of April 2nd, 2009, it reports that in Connecticut, Senator Dodds is behind 3 other Republicans as of today: Tom Foley, Bob Simmons, as well as Sam Caligiuri. What this shows is that Republicans are thinking of a chance of actually winning a lot of seats in midterm elections in 2010 following the fallouts of AIG's bonus scandal. So, when we ask ourselves today's question, will AIG bonus debacle give the GOP a winning issue for the 2010 midterms? The answer sadly is no. The GOP members are not good enough for Priam's sword to enable them to beat the Menelaus that is the Democratic Party right now. We can understand this by looking at 2 key areas of analysis. First, by understanding how the entire AIG debacle is a private issue. And then by understanding that Democrats right now are riding on a populist wave. Initially, we must understand that the AIG debacle, even with a lot of government intervention, is basically a private problem. In order to understand this, we will first take a closer look at the bonus problem, and then we understand the role played by the government in this specific issue. Initially, the problem of $170 million being handed out in bonuses to top executives is a serious problem in AIG in itself. However, the Los Angeles Times of April 2nd, 2009 reports that this is a very private issue. The article explains that AIG has a history of doling out huge amounts of bonuses to its top executives. $3.6 billion were handed out by AIG last year in bonuses. $400 million of those dollars were just given to the top 7 executives. This shows that AIG has a tradition of giving out huge bonuses, something which did not change even when it got $170 billion in bailout money. The Reuters of April 2nd, 2009 explains this by saying that AIG set up its compensation plan, which was giving out these bonuses long before it got its $70 billion in bailout money, as well as a lot more in loans. This shows that the AIG bonus debacle is basically a private issue where AIG failed and not the Democrats. In order to better understand this, we must take a look at what Christopher Dodds himself did. The CNN of April 2nd, 2009 reports that the legislature and the language in the legislature allowing for these bonuses to be paid are an oversight mistake, not an intentional loophole created by Christopher Dodds. In order to better understand this, we must look to the Wall Street Journal of April 2nd, 2009, which explains that Christopher Dodd made these changes because the administration officials asked him to do this to make the legislature bill more effective. The problem being here was that Christopher Dodds did not know that that line meant specifically to AIG. He went out saying that he did not know it was for AIG until the entire bonus scam burst out into the national stage. What we can understand from this, even though the government has a huge role to play in what AIG is doing right now, the bonus debacle is primarily a private issue, and the government, headed by Christopher Dodds in this case, did not know what is going on, and it was an oversight mistake and not an intentional loophole. But after understanding how the AIG bonus debacle is a private issue, we need to understand that Democrats right now are riding on a populist wave. We can understand this by looking at how there's a huge populist wave for public intervention in private companies, and then by looking towards how this could actually hurt Republicans. Initially, we must understand that there's a huge public wave asking for intervention into private institutions like AIG. The BBC of April 2nd, 2009 reports that the call for public intervention is on a scale never seen before. Wall Street Journal of April 2nd, 2009 reports the speed at which a 90% retroactive tax on bonuses was able to pass through the House shows that the people want the government to intervene in a private institution like AIG. What this shows is that this was actually going to help Democrats who traditionally support such intervention methods and asking for a bigger government. What this means is that this will hurt Republicans, which the Washington Post of April 2nd, 2009 reports that right now, Republicans are caught in a two-foot method. If they are going to ask for the government to go for more intervention and thereby go with what all the people want, or in other words, what the public wants, they are going back against the traditional Republican values of lesser government and lesser regulation. The problem being here is that come 2010, no matter what happens, the Republicans will have to take an other perspective of what is going on right now. If the plan succeeds, the Democrats can say that they have done everything that they can do to succeed it. The problem being here is that in the Senate, the bill has hit a huge snag, according to Fox News of April 2nd, 2009, because Republicans have not wanted such intervention into a private institution. Again, we're looking at a situation where Republicans are doing everything to hold on to their basic norms. This is challenging those things, and therefore, in 2010, they'll be facing a conundrum that could seriously hurt them. When we ask ourselves a question, will AIG bonuses debacle give the GOP a winning issue for the 2010 midterms? The answer is no, because this is a private issue. And this is an issue which will actually hurt the Republicans as it has huge public support. When you go back to what the battle between Paris and Menelas, Priam Sodes did not help Paris in a big way to defeat Menelas. This AIG debacle is not going to help the Republicans provide the winning edge to take over a lot of seats in the 2010 midterms.
7:05. Because I started giving you time signals at 7.
I stopped.